Welcome back to JRG Guitars. Today, tune up your flux capacitor, hop in your DeLorean because we're going back in time. It's Kasha Amplifiers Rockmod 2 coming at you. Alright, so the Rockmod 2 is a preamp developed by Kasha Amplifiers that was really found in a lot of setups here in the 80s. Coming out of the 1970s with Van Halen and this surge of that guitar tone and all of the rip-offs and tribute sounds, whatever you want to call it, this was an evolution of that. So there's a lot of information on the internet. You could quickly look it up, but real quick, the down and dirty Kasha Amplifiers. John Kasha was a amp tech there at ABK Music in the San Fernando Valley and started modding amps and then developed his own preamps. And this one I picked up in the very late 80s in 1989, and I just needed something that had tones that were sort of competitive with the day. I was using a solid state amplifier, a Crate 100 watt head that just did not have the tones that were needed. It was just not delivering what I needed, not by a long shot. So I went down and I ended up with this, and I went on this journey to be the rack guy. I wanted to have all rack mounted effects with all the LEDs blinking and going off, and that was part of my tone journey that ended up with this. I started off with a little 6 space rack mount unit and quickly grew to a much larger one as I added more and more effects, and this was the centerpiece of those tones. So let's dive a little deeper into this preamp. Alright, so here we are. I've got the preamp set up with basically everything at noon. I got my EQs at noon, and I've got my gain structures at noon. So if I go through the preamp here, this is our selector switch. I've got a burn, a crunch, and a clean channel. We're just going to be concentrating on the burn channel today because I'm having a problem with this switch, and this thing's all about the burn anyway. Then you have a gain stage, a post gain stage. This is our master out for each of those 3 channels, the burn, the crunch, and the clean. And the LED lighting up indicating we are on the burn, which is where we'll stay. We have 2 EQ sections, the clean EQ on top, and then the lead EQ, which the crunch and the burn channel share. I've got all of these set at noon, and then these are preamp stages for your clean, your crunch, and these are down because we're not utilizing those. So if we listen to our tones, here's what we've got. I do have some pretty heavy reverb on there because it is the 80s and we love our reverb. So I have no real other effects on there, no delays, choruses, flangers, or anything like that. So just a crunchy, overdriven sound, not super gainy. If I start to creep up the gain, I really do get some good distortion here. Now we're getting there. Coming to life. Now, we know the mid-range is where that 80s lives, so let's give it a little bit more mids. Certainly punching through, but what we want to bring in is a little bit more bass because we want to round out that bottom. Definitely sounding good. I think I have enough highs, but we'll bring some in just to see what we can get on that top end. I don't think I need that much. Very nice. Now, the post gain stage. This is a stage after its post, but it does bring in some more gain, and what it really does is bring in some saturation, and it brings in some bottom end. And what I found is as I creep this up, I actually tame down the EQ a little bit. So let's see what we've got. You can hear that girth coming in on the bottom. Very nice. Tiny bit more, and then we could get boxy if we give too much. Just dialing in that bass now. Oopsie days. Very nice right there. All right, so signal chain. I ran out of the guitar into a tuner, directly into the preamp. Preamp main out went right into the effects return on my PRS MT15 amp, and that delivered the power that I needed. Coming out of that speaker out, I went into my 2 notes Captor X, and from that ran out of the XLR outputs into my interface to then capture it into my recording system. I chose to do that as opposed to miking it up just because it was a little bit easier for recording. Recently got the Captor X, very much enjoy it. We'll probably be doing some videos on that coming up at some point in the future as well. The Captor X also enabled me to mic up virtual cabinets with 2 different mics, put some reverb on there and some effect to make it sound nice and big and drippy. So it's 80s, let's talk about one of the most craziest, sweetest riffs from a great 80s band, Rat. So this is a challenging riff, but it's a great riff to showcase the type of tones that we're after with this one right here. Oh yeah! Warren D. Martini, Robin Crosby of Rat. It's 80s, baby. It doesn't get much better than that. Of course, when I drop D-tune and play that riff, I am rock and roll obligated to play the following. Oh, man, it is good stuff here to crank in these tunes, drip that thing in reverb, and it just makes you feel good inside, doesn't it? All right, so here I am with my other guitar here, which is my custom-made guitar by Nork. Had it made over 30 years ago. Originally had a Duncan distortion in the bridge. I've since changed it out for a JB, which is still a hot pickup, a little less than the Duncan distortion. This one has more high end and more gain, so I will adjust the preamp just a tiny bit to dial it in. Let's back that gain off. And it needs some more bottom end, maybe a little less mids and highs. Well, there you have it. Great tones to be had for sure. A lot of fun breaking this thing out and playing some of those nice riffs, dripping that thing in reverb as we heard there, and just rocking out pinch harmonics, regular harmonics. You could just grab it all. It gave everything you wanted to do, and it was a great sound to be had for sure. So thank you for staying in here to the end of the video. If you like this type of content, if you enjoyed this video, please consider hitting the like button, pressing the subscribe button, and ringing that bell for notifications so we'll be able to let you know the next time a video is coming out your way. So thanks a lot from JRG Guitars.
JRG Guitars.